And welcome back to CTV News. Now, Deon Swiggs from rebuildchristchurch.co.nz is with us to update us on the rebuild. Good evening, Deon.
How are you, Chris?
Very well, thanks. Let's discuss Environment Canterbury. We had the ECAN Commissioner on the program not too long ago, and I was surprised when he said to me only 150 people have made a submission. Do you put that down to the fact that people are just tired of trying to get involved in something where there's no democracy or perceived democracy?
Environment Canterbury is a little bit, it's quite broad, so there's a lot of aspects to that, and it's not so local as the issues that the rebuild is facing. So I think that, those submissions, it's really quite detailed. You need quite a lot of detail when you make those submissions, and not everybody can do those. So a lot of those submissions would probably be larger groups of people actually making submissions on behalf of their organisations. Now,
I understand the commissioners have approved a draft Littleton Port recovery plan. This is to be released for public consultation. What's this all about?
Yeah, Littleton Port had to do a recovery plan for their earthquake damage. What that meant, well, the reason why that happened is that to get Littleton Port rebuilt, they'd need to actually do 100 resource consents, or up to 100 resource consents, and that would take probably 10, 15 years to go through the processes. So Jerry Brownlee, the Minister of Earthquake Recovery, said, okay, let's do a recovery plan. So the port made a recovery plan. They've been telling people about that for the last couple of months, and now ECAN have approved that, and now that's public consultation starts as of yesterday till May the 11th. People can put submissions into this. It really just looks at the recovery of Littleton Port, the 27 hectare reclamation that they're going to do for the container port, Dampier Bay, where they're going to have new areas such as the berths and other things like that. So, I mean, this is the next step for Littleton, and it's a massive project. It's up to $500 million this project is going to be. So it's really crucial that the Littleton community get involved in this, and the wider Christchurch community, because it has quite a lot of impact for us.
All right, let's talk about some other buildings that are popping up around Christchurch at the moment. You know I'm obsessed with the buildings, Deon. On Litchfield Street, another one that's, is it nearly finished or has it just started? This is the Christchurch-based construction company.
Oh, Corbel, yes, it's finished now. So Corbel Construction finished their building, and actually I really love this building. It really looks at, they've taken a lot of detail to get this building right. What you see on the facade there is, you can see the river winding around, and it's the old grid system of what Christchurch...
Do we like that?
I love it, because that's the old grid system that Christchurch was designed, 1862 I think that design was.
Looks like a Lego building.
Well, yeah, and inside is actually just as impressive. If you go inside, the people from Corbel are really keen to get people to have a look at that. I think it's a really stage mark. And there's a number of buildings around that.
It's quite nice. I like it. It's a bit arty-farty, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a number of buildings around that area that are starting to come up. Another construction company just opened their one, and it looks absolutely fantastic. This is the new city. It's going to be cool.
All right. The Earthquake Commission is asking Canterbury home repair, or homeowners rather, to confirm whether they wish to go with the home repair program. With the greatest respect to those people, I'm surprised they haven't even made contact with EQC. What do you think's going on?
Well, this is now. I mean, there needs to be a deadline, but this is a little bit confusing because obviously statutory obligations with a Crown-owned entity. But what EQC are saying is they're putting a stake in the ground and saying, you've got till the end of June to say if you're going to be repaired by EQC, which is the EQR program. If not, you're going to be cash settled. And I don't know exactly the numbers. There's around 2,000 to 3,000 customers, I think, in that boat. So this is going to be quite interesting in how this plays out. EQC are also now. They're doing all the cash, the cash settlement, the payments back, all those kind of things. So there's a lot happening at EQC at the moment.
All right, an Auckland-based lawyer was down here recently with Bruce Shepherd, the former Shareholders Association chairman. Why?
So they're actually coming down. There's a public meeting next week, I believe it is, and they want to try and get
money out of people.
Well, I think so, but the other thing is here that they're looking to do a class action against insurers. Now, I don't want to talk too much in detail what that would mean, but if you're interested in sort of looking at this, and a lot of people on our website have actually engaged in this article, because there is a lot of people that are uncomfortable about how they've been dealt with insurers. So if you are interested, have a look on the website, go to that meeting and see what they have to say.
It always worries me, though, to be honest, Deon Swiggs, when we hear of Auckland lawyers coming down, and I know, and I'm not necessarily meaning the people we're talking about on this program right now, but I can think of a few that I won't name who I think are rorting the system and forcing elderly, vulnerable people into come with us, don't settle with your insurance company, you can get some more cash, and it's all about cash. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, as a trustee on the Insurance Advocacy Service that was set up by the community, my biggest advice for people in situations that are, unaware of what's going on, go see these free support services such as CS or RAS.
I agree with you, because there are a lot of decent community-based groups that you can go to first before paying the exorbitant fees some of these lawyers and some of these so-called advocate earthquake people charge.
Yeah, and I mean, insurance is really tricky. You need to be able to drill down into those insurance, those policies. And if you get an insurance advocate or an expert on your side, and they might just be able to open up the door to actually have a conversation with your insurer. Now, IAG are also going to be cash. They've got their policy for cash settlement coming up end of June or July, I believe, where if you're not in the build program by then, they'll be cash settling you. So again, if you are unsure what that means, make sure you get some free advice from, say, RAS or CS or any other advocate that actually understands what the policy means, so that in your build process moving forward, you're not going to be left short to get your house repaired or rebuilt up to the standard that was that you're entitled to in your policy.
What's this what is it in the Know Hub being set up at Eastcote Shopping Centre? What's that all about?
In the Know Hub is it's a community-led initiative where people can go. It's like a shop front, really. So people can go in there, and if it's all the main insurance and recovery kind of agencies around your house, land. Really, EQC has got a heavy involvement around, what does your land claim mean and all these other stuff. So it's at Eastgate Mall. It opens
April the 20th.
April the 20th. So it's
a bit late, isn't it?
It's a bit. Well, it's there for 2 months. So if you want to go there, get some information from the actual people who have the information, I would actually encourage you to go along and have a look.
Let's discuss Anthony Goff. Great man. I've got a lot of time for him. His project was stalled at one stage, not the case now. What are we seeing the fact? Do you think he's going to have any difficulty trying to get tenants into his precinct?
I think it's actually really cool, really good of him to sort of commit to saying, look, we're going to give the tenants who come to this building or to this area rents that are what was pre-earthquake, because the fact of the reality is it costs so much more to build in Christchurch now because of the earthquake. The land there's a whole lot of different things that you need to make sure that your land is stable, so if there's another event that the building doesn't need to come down, so like the other ones have. Anthony Goff is a real champion for this recovery so far, and I really applaud the work that he's doing there, and there are other developers. The key is now to get tenants to tenant these buildings, because if we don't have tenants to tenant these buildings and it's too high or it costs too much, we're not going to get people back into the CBD won't become vibrant, and then it'll just still be disjointed for the next little while. All
right, just one final question. We've got to go, but very briefly, I was speaking to Prime Minister John Key on News Talk ZB today. He said to me, don't worry, there'll be plenty of international investors lining up to invest in Christchurch. Do you buy that?
I don't know. I know for a fact from one of the developers who's working in the city that they said there is no international investment come into the city so far.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Deon Swiggs from rebuildchristchurch.co.nz.